Hey guys, what is up? It is the Fast Break Report here, bringing you guys another vlog. It's been a while. Actually left to go to my dad's last night and completely forgot to make a video. But I want to talk about the 76ers and should they rebuild or not. Not a lot, but you know what I mean. Whether or not the Philadelphia 76ers should rebuild. Because this is a topic that's going around on YouTube a lot, and I want to give my opinion on it because things in Philly are looking rough right now and have looked rough ever since Joel Embiid got there. He got there, then there was the foot injury, he was injured his rookie year, then, the Markelle Fultz situation, the Ben Simmons situation, now the James Harden situation. They traded Jimmy Butler, they drafted Jahlil Okafor over Devin Booker. I mean, there's just mistake after mistake after mistake going on either in the front office or just with the organization. I'm just going to call it what it is. This is probably the weirdest franchise debacle I have ever seen, and we probably will ever see. Joel Embiid's going to go down in history as one of those players that, just couldn't get good teammates around him, no matter how hard he tried. And we're at a point now where obviously James Harden is incredibly disgruntled. He does not want to be in Philly anymore. Even if a lot of it doesn't seem like it makes total sense. He said, one thing I didn't understand about, James Harden saying Daryl Morey is a liar and he will never be a part of any organization that he's a part of is because, they were leaking the whole Houston Rockets shit, back in December, I think, or January. So, I don't think he was ever promised a max contract. I think he was promised to be traded, and, the fact of the matter is when you pretty much piss in the Cheerios of every fucking team that you've ever been on, it makes you pretty hard to trade, okay? So there's that. And, I think of this, and I'm like, part of me thinks Philly is... It depends on what Joel Embiid wants, and specifically Joel Embiid, not James Harden, okay? Because honestly, I think the Sixers could trade James Harden for pennies on the dollar and still have a decent team with Tyrese Maxey running point, Tobias Harris out there, and Joel Embiid out there. I think they would still be a playoff team. So that's the one side of the coin that I'm just you know what? Even if you trade James Harden for fucking nothing, even if you waive James Harden, right? It's not the end of the world. You know what I'm saying? I don't, are you going to be as high seeded as a playoff team? Maybe not. I don't know. Joel Embiid can do a lot of miraculous things by himself. But it's just the idea. It's does James Harden want to continue the process in Philly? He came out over the summer and said, I just want to win a championship, whether it's with Philly or with somebody else. Then he's got, he took processing out of his Twitter bio and changed his location from Philadelphia to the capital of Cameroon, if I'm correct. There's signs there. There's signs that Joel Embiid is this is like sneak dissing in the NBA, essentially. This is how players voice their frustrations. They don't say anything. They just do things that, put the organization at concern of losing their player. This is Joel Embiid's way of saying, hey, if you're going to get rid of James Harden, you need to get me something else or I'm going to fucking leave. And honestly, I can't blame him. You know what I'm saying? I can't blame Joel Embiid for wanting to leave Philly, if he really does want to leave Philly. Mostly because, he has had so many, fucked up situations he's had to be subjected to, and he's not the problem. That's the crazy part about it. It would be one thing if Joel Embiid was the problem, but he's not. He's not the problem. The problem is this organization just can't put anything around him that is good enough for him to win. And even when they do it, all kinds of weird shit pops up. You get Ben Simmons and Markelle Fultz, and then you trade Jimmy Butler, and you get fucking James Harden now. It's just the idea. This is a team that I think if they were to go another 1 or 2 years, and I understand Joel Embiid's going to be 30 this upcoming year, so you're kind of cutting it close, but you could get maybe another 1 or 2 good years going here where it's honestly, if they're going to keep it together, I think you let Tyrese Maxey start at point guard. You keep Tobias Harris. If you can bring Tobias Harris back on a cheaper deal, I think you do it if you're Philly. and run that. Run that with, you have Embiid, you'll have Maxey, you'll have Harris. I think you extend Maxey. I think he's worth a max contract. I think he's a player that's going to be really, really good once he's given the opportunity to take over the reins. So that's the other side of this is you could trade Joel Embiid to another team and give him immediate satisfaction, or you could try to stick this thing out or convince him to stick this thing out. And Joel Embiid seems like a guy who's willing to stick it out in Philly. I know a lot of people right now are jumping on the trade Joel Embiid train because of all the subliminal stuff and the stuff he said over the offseason and the James Harden stuff. And honestly, you know what? I understand why Joel Embiid was disgruntled with Ben Simmons. I do. But it seems like he likes James Harden. And James Harden's not going to report to camp, supposedly. Supposedly James Harden has played his last game as a 76er. So I just think to myself, this is a really weird situation to be in. But I wouldn't put it past Philadelphia to be able to salvage this, even without James Harden. Tyrese Maxey is that good. I'm just gonna call it what it is. Tyrese Maxey is one of those players that I'm if you just give him the reins, if you just let him go to work, I think you would have a better team than you necessarily think. And I know that's a lot of pressure on Tyrese Maxey, but I think he's ready for it. We've seen him drop 30-plus point games before. And you look at the Knicks, the Knicks are a high seed, a decent seeded team in the East with just Jalen Brunson and Julius Randle. And I know this is going to be a stretch and Knicks fans are probably not going to like this, but I think Tyrese Maxey could play at a level of Jalen Brunson, and Joel Embiid is better than Julius Randle. I think Tobias Harris is better than RJ Barrett, as far as offensively goes, maybe not defensively, but on the offensive side of the ball, Tobias Harris is way more polished than RJ Barrett is. So, RJ Barrett has a tendency to just get fucking tunnel vision. But I just think to myself, Philadelphia could still be a playoff team even without James Harden. And if they can get rid of Harden, and not for nothing, but Tyrese Maxey's also still on a rookie deal, so it's they could have a lot of cap space to fuck around with this upcoming offseason. If they get rid of Harden or trade him to somebody, even if it's for pennies on the dollar, you will still have an ass ton of cap space to maybe bring in another solid player, or put at least more good solid role players around Maxey, Embiid, and Harris. I don't know who those guys are off the top of my head. One guy that I've been knocking around a little bit is Gordon Hayward. Gordon Hayward is, I get it, injury prone, doesn't play a lot, but if you can get him on a vet minimum deal and get him to Philly and have him come off the bench and be your sixth man, that's a damn good sixth man, because when Gordon Hayward does play, he's a solid player, a really solid player when he actually plays. So that's why I said a vet minimum deal. That's why I'm saying you don't go crazy for Gordon Hayward, but if you can get him on a vet minimum, I think you do it. I understand the whole side of this of James Harden gave up money to go play there and try to win there, but it's just the idea James Harden doesn't seem to realize that Philly is his best chance to win. And I think even if James Harden leaves, right, if you can trade him for something okay, I think James Harden would be willing to stay. Honestly, James Harden would need to put his faith in Tyrese Maxey, and I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. That's all I'm saying. This can go either way. A lot of people are saying they should blow it up, and I understand that sentiment as well. I understand Joel Embiid's been through a lot of shit, okay, and he's pushing 30. So I understand why people have this stance, but honestly, like I said, Philly could lose James Harden for nothing. They could waive him, and they would still be a playoff team in the East. They're good enough. Philly is a good enough basketball team to still be a playoff team in the East, even without James Harden, with just Tyrese Maxey, Harris, and Embiid. So, I don't know. We'll have to wait and see what happens and how this all plays out. But I just think to myself, do I think that Philadelphia should blow it up? It's hard to say. Part of me really would, if you want my honest opinion, no. I don't think they should blow it up. Because I think Tyrese Maxey getting starter minutes could be an all-star caliber type player for you. And would easily replace, I think, what James Harden brings to the table scoring-wise. I mean, he puts up 22 and 10. I think Tyrese Maxey can do 22 and 7, 22 and 8, and it's close enough. But on the other side of the coin, if I'm Joel Embiid and I'm that frustrated and I want to leave, I could understand why Philadelphia would blow it up. And you know what? Even if they trade Joel Embiid, you'll get a bunch of draft picks for him from somebody. It's just Joel Embiid's going to be in a similar situation to Damian Lillard where it's going to be very hard to trade him because he makes so much money. And there's not a lot of teams in the league with a whole bunch of cap space to just go running around and trading for Joel Embiid. We're at a point now in the NBA where big contract guys are very, very, very hard to move without 3-team deals getting involved, pick swaps, draft picks, young talent. Like, you really got to come correct with these trade offers if you're going to go, because we saw what happened with Dame, right? Dame and Harden are now 2 guys that are looking to get off the teams that they're on, and they can't because they make so much money. Not necessarily James Harden, but Damian Lillard's a guy that makes so much money that teams struggle to trade for him, and the teams that he wants to go to simply don't have an intriguing enough of a trade package to facilitate a trade for him. And now James Harden is in a situation where he's just pissed in everybody's Cheerios and nobody wants to trade for him because nobody wants a 1-year loaner guy that is not going to come back and they have to give up young assets for him. So, I don't know, man. We'll have to wait and see, but in my heart of hearts, I don't think Philadelphia should blow it up. I think they should just get rid of James Harden at any means necessary and give Tyrese Maxey his starting minutes. Give Tyrese Maxey the ball, let him play point for you, and see how it goes. So, because I think it could be phenomenal. So, tell me what you guys think about this down below in the comment section below. I like helping me out. Subscribe if you guys want to see more on the Fast Break Report. And I'm out of this motherfucker. Peace, guys.